Hi, everyone. I'm Megan Alexander, and you're listening to the Middle East Tomorrow podcast. In a region long defined by headlines of conflict, a different, quieter story is being written thanks to the Abraham Accords. 5 years ago, the Abraham Accords created a new political reality. Now, a citizen-led movement of peacemakers from Israel, Morocco, the United Arab Emirates, and Bahrain is turning that diplomatic breakthrough into a grassroots reality. In this podcast, we'll discover their personal stories and learn how they each chose collaboration over confrontation to build a more united future. Joining me today, Rabbi Yakov Nagen and Sheikh and Imam Ghassan Manasra, two interfaith leaders whose life mission proves that collaboration can not only change a region, but reconcile its deepest conflicts. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. As you both know, I am a Christian, and it struck me that the three of us represent the three major religions in the Middle East, and the Abraham Accords are based on our shared ancestor, Abraham. Why is religion so central to this whole conversation?
Right. The great insight about the conflicts in the Middle East is exactly because religion is part of the problem. It cannot be ignored. It must be part of the solution. Religion can be a source of conflict, setting people against each other, but it could be a source of connection, bringing people together. And that's what's so beautiful about the very name of the Abraham Accords, taking a figure beloved by all the people of the Middle East and say, let our Father bring us together.
This is the earthly law. And the religion can organize our lives because the religion is you, is yourself. And the religion try to create new bridges between you and between the other. Then it's very important for all of us to rebuild the ways of connection, of knowing one another through our law, earthly law, that it came from divine.
Mm-hmm. How did this friendship come about?
In many ways, it came out from our different holidays that have connections. I think we first met more than 20 years ago during the month of Ramadan, where Muslims fast. And if I recall, it was a year that Yom Kippur, the Jewish fast day, fell out. And we met talking about the meaning and significance of each of these sacred days for each other. And through the years, that has continued. And maybe Ghassan can tell about the many times he hosted me and many Jews in his home on Ramadan.
I remember that, right? We met at that great event to tell one another that we share the same or common great things together. We are fasting together. We are suffering together through fasting, and we can create a new connection, not through the fasting also, through creating new life for ourselves, for our next generation. We met in Jerusalem, first time, and later I began to invite many friends, Jewish friends, Christian friends, Druze friends, and others to come to break the fast in my house in Nazareth.
It's beautiful.
And actually, the most special time took place. Hundreds of Muslims, Jews, and Christians in Jerusalem, and we had the iftar, the breaking of the fast in Ramadan, on the day that Jews also fasted. We thought we'd break the fast together, but we realized there's a problem. Muslims end their fast at sundown. Jews end the fast about half an hour later when the stars come out. And I remember Ghassan's saintly father, the Sheikh Absalam, say, until the Jews could eat, nobody eats. They waited at that extra half hour for all of us to eat together.
What do you say, Sheikh, to anybody that feels the Quran is anti-Semitic? Is that the full picture?
No. I want to say sometimes many religious or many politicians try to create a different term of meaning of the Quran. The Quran, as the other books, came from the same niche and tried to explain the right and the wrong and what the mistakes that it happened during the history. If we look at the Quran, 60% of the Quran speaking about the Jews and gave to the Jews lots of respect but he also criticized the wrong things that they did. As the Quran warned the Muslims, don't do these mistakes, you will be mistaken people. And also speaking about the Christianity and Christians, Quran is not anti-Semitized. I think it's a new name, anti-Semitic, because I'm a Semitic and the Quran is Semitic. This is the language of the Semitic people. All of us, we are Semitic. Then you cannot say to the Semitic person that you are anti-Semitic. This is first thing. Another thing, I think it's book of love as the other books, and try to reconnect between all of the books, because the Quran speaking about the Torah, speaking about the New Testament and other books also. Great things, and it try to create a great reconciliation between the people, not conflict.
You both have been doing Abrahamic peacemaking for over 40 years. What does that term mean?
So that's a wonderful question, because there are many types of peacemaking and many types of religious peacemaking. I feel that peacemaking is based on relationships. And relationships, to be real and authentic, it can't be one size fit all. And we have to find what is truly unique in every relationship. So within the Abrahamic family, every side, the Jewish-Christian relationship has something very special, our shared reverence for the Bible. And Jewish-Muslim has other aspects, our sense of shared ethnicity with Abraham's children, Isaac and Ishmael, different theologies of oneness of God, and perhaps even dietary laws that we're always looking for something which is kosher or halal. But the essence, I feel, is finding not only that we are friends despite our differences, but because of them, that we are blessed. We are blessed because what each of us bring to the relationship. So that's what makes relationship beautiful. Two is more than the sum of its parts. I've grown immensely by what I've learned from Ghassan, as I have in other contexts my Christian friends, and I hope that I've brought them blessings as well. So to be blessed by each other, and not merely to tolerate each other, this is our hope, this is our dream.
I agree. And I want to say a very important thing. It's not began with me 40 years ago, because my father also began this. I think it's more than 60 years we are working that. But 1,400 years, the Quran, before 1,400 years, the Quran say, all the people of the book, come to a righteous and great discussion together. And in another verse, God say, all people, we created you from male and from female, and we have made you nations and tribes to know one another, not to fight, to know one another. Then I feel that the interfaith dialogue bring the people together, religious dialogue or civil dialogue. It's part of me, of my private life, of my internal life, because if I need to know myself more, I need you, I need the other. The other is my mirror toward myself.
How do you see grassroots interfaith work relating to the diplomacy of the Abraham Accords?
Well, first of all, I feel person to person is essential, because it's not enough to say the right words. It's not enough in your head to believe the right beliefs. When person meets person, the heart opens up and creates something real, something authentic, and it's all about relationships, about connection, to truly experience the other. So we work top down with global religious leaders from our communities, but also bottom up, and each empower the other. The leaders have more courage to take strong stands when they feel the people are with them, and the people need guidance by the leader speaking the truth of their sources.
I think that grassroots, they are the majority of our life, because big part of us is grassroots. We met diplomatic people, we met politicians, we met a clergy, we met all of these leaders all around us. But the most important thing is the grassroots, because they can move the waves of our lives. They are the majority that they can accept a lot from us, and we need to be a very wise and very clever to bring them and to allow them to hear our voice of connection, of love and harmony, because they will change the situation, the highest situation. They will change the leaders in the future if they would like. And I think we need to plant our seeds on the grassroots to change the world for better life.
Rabbi, can you give a concrete example of how you've seen interfaith dialogue break down barriers?
I'll give a very personal example. For many years, the guiding verse in the Bible for me is from the prophet Sfanya, that says that in the future, humanity will call together in the name of God and serve God one shoulder. This became very personal when 3 years ago I had a major brain hemorrhage. I said goodbye to my family, a final prayer, and after closing my eyes in the operation, my wife first turned to the Jewish world. But then the children said, Father would want you to turn to all of his non-Jewish friends. So on my WhatsApp, my wife turned to every sheikh, imam, bishop, priest, and there was an overwhelming response. By the grace of God and the skill of the doctors, I'm still here. For me, that fulfilled the first half of humanity calling together in the name of God. But the second half eluded me. What does it mean, serve God one shoulder? But shortly afterwards, another friend in imams, after I recovered, gave me a massive hug. When heart touched heart, face, I realized our shoulders linked, became one, and said, that's what it's saying. Religion must connect the vertical line to God, to the horizontal line to one another, and faith will forge together and heal our broken world.
It's beautiful. As a Sufi sheikh, how has your spiritual tradition aligned with the Abraham Accords?
It's a very deep question because it can give us a highlight on the Sufi life. The Sufi life, I think it's a spiritual, it's a mystical, natural life to get to the Abraham Accord. And in Abrahamic Reunion, because we are spiritual people, we found ourselves on the field of connection, talking, and discussion, and bringing the people to be together. I think the philosophy of Sufism and spiritual people, they pushing us to do that. Look at Ibn Arabi. Ibn Arabi, he one of the greatest philosophers in the 13th century. He passed away at 1238 or 1240. He say, my heart began to accept all of the characters, all of the shapes. Sometimes my heart is a field for deer. Sometimes it's Torah. Sometimes it's the Quran. Sometimes it's place of monks, and so on. He tried to count himself all of these people. And as a Sufis, we think that this is the life with all of the differences, and the beauty of our life is the differences and the difference.
Sitting with you both, I feel so optimistic, but why do we still have the conflict that we have? How can we overcome the division that we see?
In terms of the role of religion, already 2,000 years ago, the Talmud warned that although the Bible is a potion of life, the danger to become a potion of death, saying that religion is powerful and power corrupts. We know in English the word God, G-O-D, and the word ego, E-G-O, they're so similar. So the danger of taking something very powerful and using it not for God, for ego, this is a danger that we all have to overcome, and I think this is part of the tragedy of the conflicts. So it's about leaving ego for God, and I feel, going back to the Abraham Accords, cynics think it's all about shared interests. But if the Middle East was only about financial, economic interests, there'd be peace a long time ago. But we each have two eyes. One eye, our interest, the other eye is identity. And I feel something real is happening, because what's truly remarkable about the Abraham Accords was not the great surprise one morning we had discovered that they were about to take place, but their resilience. Despite a very bitter war, the Abraham Accords have endured. And I feel because there's something real there. In Abu Dhabi, there's this wonderful place called the Abraham Family Houses, of a mosque, a church, and a synagogue, all beautiful, built by the government there, and giving a powerful expression, not only the name Abraham, but the Abraham Family House, saying, we are family. And together with Rassan, we experienced this also at the heart of the war. We were in the Kingdom of Morocco, rabbis and imams studying together, and we were allowed by the palace to enter the inner sanctuary of the graves of the previous kings to join prayers for the souls of the kings of Morocco. So I feel something real is happening. It's not just about interests. It's about identity and about a new story which is created in our times.
Yes, I think it's very important to understand that there are, as we say, religion and religious. The problem, it's not by the religion again, it's by the religious people. They try to interpret or to create a new commentary about the same text. Sometimes you'll give me a text and I read it. I'll give it to Rabbi Nagen. He'll read it. I'll get something different than he got from the text. But as Rabbi Nagen say, when you'll activate the ego, all of us will lose, because you need to come to say to serve your own interest. And this is the problem of our life. When I come to the interfaith dialogue or meeting, I say, I come to change myself and you for to be better. I will not come to change you, not myself. This is the point that we need to come to change ourselves through the way of discussion. And then I'll change the other. The other will change by my changing. But to keep myself as I am and I will change you, I'll take all of you, I'll fight you. No. We will not succeed in our mission in this life.
Mm-hmm. Final question. Do you both see religious dialogue sustaining and moving forward the Abraham Accords?
Absolutely. I think this is the hope to break out of patterns of that shared story, that we all have a place in the story. To what I mentioned about identities. Neurology teaches us that when you look at another person, subconsciously you will classify them as friend or foe. So that is why changing the story in our hearts about how we perceive the other, this is essential. And there's an important role media should be playing and overcome. Too often, violent extremists are referred to in the media as fundamentalists, as if they are the authentic practicers of the fundamentals of their religion, instead of calling out the violation, the blasphemy of people's respective faiths by doing violent, murderous acts in the name of God.
I think, listen, the world today begin to look at all of the deed of many groups in 2 points. One people look from left side, one people look from right side. What is the truth? It's sometimes hidden, but all of us, we must we must walk to discover and to see the truth through ourselves, through the other, through the text, and through everything. I think we have a very important tool for all of us, the media. If we'll use the media in the righteous and right way, I think we can convince ourselves and the people, and we can bring more people. But if we'll use it in a different way, nothing will arrive to the people. The people cannot accept or cannot hear the truth. My friend or my teacher, I can say, Leonard Swedler, from Temple University, say you can lie part of the time to part of the people, but you cannot lie all of the time to all of the people. There is an end. And this is our mission, is to clear and to clarify, to come, to talk, and to help the people to understand the truth. And then we will get to the righteous place.
Perhaps also another into the role of the media. I feel sometimes many may feel that this is a rare exception, but I feel the good news is there's so many powerful, meaningful relationships, but this is not what the media focuses on. Mm-hmm. And perhaps going back to my personal story, I was still in the hospital in Jerusalem when the Jewish fast day of mourning for destruction of our ancient temple was. I wasn't able to fast, of course, but I looked around at the staff. The staff were Jews, Muslim, Christians, both the staff and the patients, everybody praying for themselves, for each other. And I thought about the verse in the Bible of the temple being in Jerusalem, a house of prayer for all people, bringing blessings. And I said, wow, I'm as close as you could be. a place bringing life and blessings of all nations together, praying, helping. Things are better than people think. And part of the role of the media is let this truth be known.
What a beautiful conversation. Thank you both for sharing your thoughts and sharing your friendship with the world.
And thank you. Thank you for completing the Abrahamic family by being with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both. What a powerful demonstration of interfaith leadership's role in bringing reconciliation to the people of the region. For more stories on the people shaping the Middle East, visit partners.foxnews.com/Met.